Bonjour, Kinamagi Nene Ireland Dejnakas, and welcome to this overview of our Week 18 and Week 19 learning plans. We'll begin this episode back within our stream page on the Google Classroom. The Google Classroom is accessible by all students using their @segchipschool.net email. Students do not have to be on a Chromebook in order to access it, as this app is available in your device's app store. And I always have a quick way to contact me, which is important when there's a holiday break. Students are welcome to email me appropriate questions. Parents, if you need to reach me using Google Voice, that is the best number for that. Please include your name if sending a text and your student's name. Please be aware that certain topics can't be discussed via text. I will be largely away from computers from the 23rd of December until the 27th of December. If there's an important question, send it. I'll do my best to respond. We have this week's newsletter, which I'll talk about in just a moment, also posted there. And if you scroll down a little further, we have our Spirit Week. Spirit Week does continue into next week, which is the 19th and 20th, Ugly Sweater Day on the 19th, and Pajama Day on the 20th. Students are encouraged to participate. We have our book fair, which is wrapping up here, and we'll talk about that now as we hit the newsletter. The book fair is concluding this week. On Saturday, there is a adult only. So this is an opportunity for parents to come in and make those Christmas purchases or other holiday purchases for gifts. That time is from 12 to 3. There is an added note on the homework part. It is still important for students to work on their homework and learn that responsibility, but there will be no homework sent home on December 20th, the Tuesday before break. Asking students to be responsible for a paper over the course of 2 weeks at 5th grade is a challenge even for the high school age, much less 5th grade. So they will have no homework sent home next week. We'll resume that in January. Popcorn Fridays are also underway. Students may purchase a bag of popcorn for 50 cents. It is important to know that there is a limit of 4 bags purchased. Winter break does begin on December 20th after school that day. So officially from the 21st to January 2nd, students are off. Before they go on break, we will hold a little winter festivities. Students are permitted to bring an individually wrapped treat, much like we talked about with Halloween. Students are not required to bring anything in. I will be providing some beverages. If you choose to send a treat, we have 17 staff and students in our class. It is also important to note over winter break that we will be able to access some of our learning items here. If they go into the Google Classroom, let me show you how they get there. So they go under classwork and has classroom links, 5th grade Padlet. That's this. They can access reading A to Z if they like, ST Math, Khan Academy, Prodigy, really whatever it is they want to do. There's nothing assigned over break. I'm not sending home packets for kids to work on and for parents to have to try to guide their students to do, and students really don't want to because it's a holiday break. Totally get it. But they may want to say, you know what, I'm going to play Nitro Type. So they can develop their typing skills by playing, essentially. Some of these do require logins, many of which are with their Google account. However, if you do get stuck on needing a login, send me an email. I'll do my best to solve that from wherever I'm at. I'm coming back down to our newsletter. Math, we're going to be moving in a new chapter on how patterns are used to solve math problems as we wrap up multiplying and dividing decimals. With any of our topics, we keep spiraling around so that we make sure that students are retaining it. And if they are struggling, we will review with them. Language arts, we're going to be going into a new unit related to social emotional learning. We continue to use Words Their Way. That's an online way to do spelling. Social studies, we're looking at the colonies and the consequences of the colonies, both for Indigenous Americans and also for people who resided in West Africa as the slave trade begins. We're going to move into studying space and science, space and the solar system in science. Just a reminder on electronics, students are permitted to bring a device, but if they're going to keep it on them, it needs to be off and in their locker. I do also allow for students to hand me their device and I'll keep it in my front drawer during the day. Students who are caught using their device will have it taken to the front desk for a parent or guardian pickup. We also have some language here related to the fact that it's almost winter. Then we have a holiday and a new year. Temperatures are supposed to be pretty cold next week. Of course, by the time we get to actually doing these words in class in the first of the year, they're probably like 70, because that's just how my luck is. And then Ishko Day is our final one. Looking at our learning plans for this week coming up, Monday and Tuesday are kind of wrap-up days. We will have Scholastic on Monday. Reading A to Z is our online piece. They have an assignment that'll be assigned to them there. We'll be wrapping up our compare and contrast papers. I'm doing a little spiral quiz and getting some time to work on ST Math. Science, kind of wrapping up, a final chance to earn a 3 before winter break, and a mystery duck. Social studies, we're continue with the middle and southern colonies. Again, the New England colonies today, which is Friday the 16th. We have a little bit of geometry and order of operations, and we do have some online pieces for them. We do plan to watch the Muppet and Mickey versions at the very least of A Christmas Carol, as we've been reading the book and comparing it to said book, seeing what's the same and what's the difference. So essentially comparing and contrasting. I've also decided, instead of sending you a video 2 days from now about week 19, that I would include that there. Notice Monday, there is no school. I always encourage students to read for 20 minutes at home, even if there's no school, especially if there's no school. We'll be coming into our new lesson in reading on social emotional learning. We'll be doing a how-to write in the first 2 weeks back, the new math chapter, the new science chapter, some pretty heavy stuff in social studies as we talk about the slave trade and the Middle Passage and triangular trade. Of course, we take it very delicately. Math review and enrichment, geometry will be the first couple of days, and then we're going to just preview a little bit about fractions. Fractions will be coming up for students in the not too distant future, but we want to get them a little chance to see it before it's in their book. And you can see our wondrous educational block, which is still wonderful on the things that we do online. If you'll note that there's a Friday tentatively scheduled for the 6th. Information will be sent home on that probably midweek when we return. I'll probably do a newsletter on Thursday so that you're up to speed on what's going on Friday. See if I get one of these awesome videos. Yeah, I know you just rolled your eyes. And you can see what we're doing in small groups. I don't put up there what we're doing in smaller groups because that varies day to day and which students are involved, and it's based heavily on what we're doing in class to give them that other chance. So that kind of wraps up our weeks 18 and 19. We'll go ahead and stop the share. Again, I encourage students to log on at points and work on things on the Padlet. They can choose their own adventure. I also want students to take some time to relax, recharge the batteries, spend time with family, do whatever it is you all want to do. Keeping fresh with some math skills is great, but so is family time. If the student is choosing to spend some time with our apps, remember it is cool to send me an email if you have a question. I'm more than happy to respond as soon as I can. I do hope everyone has a safe and enjoyable holiday break, and I look forward already to seeing students on January 3rd. And then we'll be getting our last 2 weeks before the end of the quarter already. I hope everyone has a Minogishigad, Minwa, Pamapi.